The Celtics Talk podcast is presented by 24autogroup.com, 11 locations across New England.
What's up, everybody? POSTGAME POD, the after party. Kayla Burton hanging out again because she's on as much of a winning streak as the entire Boston Celtics.
I'm honored.
You shouldn't be honored. You should be taking full credit. I like to think the Celtics turned their season around when I started growing the mustache. And they've just gone full road dog ever since you've decided to be a consistent presence.
Wait, didn't I take was it Dallas? I wore the blue. I took a loss at one point.
We did, and that was that was spotty.
I couldn't
we'd
lie
be at the
here.
Garden. We'd be doing post up, and then you get dragged into the pod. And I feel like post up is a little bit of a jinx. Whenever we've done that
You're
show.
You're right. But the pod is yep. I'm on a streak here for the pod.
We have post up on Friday. We're gonna figure that out. That's to be decided
but
later.
Either way, the Celtics.
You've been good luck.
Whether I bring good luck or not, these guys are rolling. I mean, 9 straight wins, 6-0 for the first time ever on the road in Celtics history, which is very mind-boggling to me. But how they're going about each win, it gets close, it gets dicey. There were several lead changes, 6 maybe to 9 lead changes here tonight.
Yeah, it felt like tied 6 times.
Tied 6 times.
Lead changes 9 times.
9 lead changes.
9 times.
But Hakuna Matata. Everyone's good. Like you have Luke Cornett speaking Spanish the other night, and now Al Horford coming off the bench. He's like, oh, I don't need to start. I'll come off the bench.
Unbelievable.
And he did what he did. I mean, Chris, we'll get to the postgame. I don't want to spoil what Mike Hawley says about this team and what he feels about their future as the regular season winds down.
I don't know if that segment will make the pod, so we're just gonna have to. We'll throw it out there. I mean, maybe that's where we should start. It's funny. I think we should all kind of disclose the moment we thought they were championship material. So Celtics beat the Memphis Grizzlies 117-103. Wrap up this road trip at 6-0. I think they have double-digit wins in every single game on this trip.
Yeah.
And but this was a Memphis team that should have been desperate for a win. And the Celtics just kind of hung in there, fell behind by as much as 11.
Okay.
And then there was the big run, I think, to close the first half, and it was never really close again, even though the Celtics went something like 6 minutes without a field goal in the fourth quarter. So Michael Hawley comes on our postgame plus and says this was the night he said the Celtics are going to win it all. Because
which is rare for him to say.
Right.
He doesn't if he doesn't stand by it.
I mean, so that was going to joke. I think me and Eddie have been saying it since the preseason that they're going to be on a duck boat. But, there are moments throughout the course of the year that you maybe feel a little bit more emphatic about it. And, Michael's right. The last night of a road trip, you're missing 2 superstars in Luke Cornett and Jaylen Brown. I don't use that term lightly with Luke Cornett with the way he's playing. He has absolutely been a superstar in his role. And you need a little bit of a boost. And you throw Xavier Tillman out there in a starting role. Al's cool with that. But Al was feisty once he got in there. And he gave this team, at 38 years old, he's the one that gives them a spark. Al's final line.
26?
26 points. First time since 2021 he's had 26 points in a regular season game.
Great find, by the way.
Thank you. I was going through his basketball reference page as fast as I could in live broadcast. 9 of 18 from the floor. 6 threes. I didn't even realize that. 9 rebounds. 2 on the offensive glass. He was a plus 13. He was Al's good. Most nights, Al was great tonight.
He was great tonight, and I think it was whether it was Eddie or Mike Hawley that said this, but I think it was Eddie. But him saying that, look, Al's not going to get 20 whatever shots or 20 plus points every single game. We don't need that from Al. But in the games that they do look to him, and I love what Jayson Tatum said after the game, saying, look, we needed that spark at the end of this road trip. I'm tired, and I didn't even go on the road trip. I'm tired being in the student. I'm happily tired.
These 10 o'clock games and 8 o'clock games. Tonight, being a 7:32 tip-off, we were like, oh, praise.
Thank God. But as you guys know, you guys have been following, all you who are diehard or jumping on the bandwagon with the Celtics, that this is a long, long season. But for them to put the punctuation point at the end of this road trip, I think it should only propel them to close out this season on a positive note, get the wins, and then say, hey, let's re-energize, rejuice, and come ready for postseason. I can't wait till we finish up this regular season and just be like, all right, playoff time, baby.
7 more games, but we can't get too far ahead because there are still things to accomplish.
Yep.
Notably among them, the Celtics are now 32-7 on the road.
Wow.
They just got to go 1-1 to set a new franchise mark for best road record, which, again, anytime you carve out any sliver of the Celtics record book, you're doing something right. And the fact that they've had so many great teams through the years, for this to be the best winning percentage, eclipsed the 72-73 squad that had 32-8, only 40 road games that year. It's just incredible that they're gonna carve out another little slice of this. Now there's some work to do because it's a back-to-back and it's New York and Orlando, two teams they probably won't want to show a lot against, but maybe you go all out in one of those and then rest the other night. But
how are you feeling about this team? Even I know I don't want to. It's hard not to skip and just jump to the postseason because you're right. They do have to finish.
I mean, me and Eddie have a duck boat plan.
Right.
So,
but how are you feeling? How are you feeling about this team right now? Do you
I feel
foresee,
great.
like, even in the Eastern Conference Finals, I'm jumping way too far ahead? But
no,
like,
but it's funny that so Ted Johnson walks in as we're wrapping up Postgame Plus, and he's like, man, haven't been here since, thinking back to it has been a while since football season, a lot of football talk on our program. And he said, I think the last time I was here was maybe end of January, early February, and you guys were, and I think it was meant me, were maybe a little catatonic after some of those bad losses. And I jokingly said, yeah, it's glad no one overreacted in that moment. But it again, in the moment, it hurts. It's like, what is going on with this team? There was some inconsistencies. And even though they never really festered, I think it was fair to be like, why isn't this look as crisp as it did last year? I think we felt good about the Celtics' chances last season because they were such a wrecking ball that they never had the more than 2-game losing streak, which they really haven't done this year. But they were dominating teams, and they're doing essentially what Oklahoma City is doing, where the numbers are out of control. And we'll see, if Oklahoma City can bottle it up the way the Celtics did. But I do think one of my fears coming into the year was that they would have those little valleys and not necessarily drag themselves out of it as quick as they have, but to go. What was the number? 14-1 in March.
Yeah, 14-1 in March.
Like March is
just think about that. 14-1 loss, one loss in the month of March.
The month of March is supposed to be daunting for everybody. It's supposed to be you're kind of trying to just find your footing and get through the month and get to the playoffs, and teams are jockeying. And Celtics really didn't have anything to jockey for. They've been stuck in that 2 seed. We keep talking about it, but it's just not going to happen. The Cavs are going to find a way to get to the.
And you know what?
line.
I'm cool with them being on the 2
right.
seed. I don't need them
I think
to
it's
be
actually
1 seed.
beneficial for the Celtics.
Me too. It gives them something to chase.
The path for the 2 to me is like a great thing, and because you're going to get the 7-8 winner, which looks like it's going to be Magic versus Hawks. Then you're going to get the Knicks, who we'll see if Jalen Brunson gets healthy. We'll see what they look like, but the Celtics have had great success against that team. And then you might have to go on the road against Cleveland. And the Celtics shouldn't fear going on the road against anybody. So, long-winded way of saying I feel good about this team. I would feel better if you could promise me they'll all be healthy when the ball goes up on April 19th, something like that. But yeah, like short of that, I mean, that's your only thing, and that's every year where you're worried about health. Have you had a moment this year? Is there any part of the year where you said, "Oh, they're definitely winning it"? Because when Luke Cornett re-signed, I was like, "Yeah, we got this." I think July 1, 2024.
Yeah, I would say. I'm trying to think. I'm still trying to dial it back on because look, this is my first year
you're
here.
Fair to be measured.
This is my first year. It's my rookie year here with this team, right? So I don't want to jinx myself. I'm really trying to make it to the Duck Tour.
What you got to remember is no one. I mean, maybe some YouTube commenters will call me out on it, but if I sit here and just say that I thought for sure they're going to win it all.
No, yeah. I was.
No one's going to go back to this episode and be like,
I don't think I had a Michael Hawley moment like he did tonight and say, okay, I think this team is going to win it. But I feel comforted knowing that Hawley said that because this guy has been following it for as long as you have, and you guys know, like, okay, no, they're starting to click. I think, if anything, the month of December threw me off completely. January, just seeing Derrick White struggle, and then I just felt like it was I don't know, like a sandbag weighing the team down a little bit. But
even KP being sick and never seeing the starters.
I was more concerned and being like, oh, this isn't going to go. They may go to the second round, but I don't know if they're gonna win it all. But now, because also I'm seeing them having fun, and even with Baylor Shireman minutes, I know obviously he didn't play tonight, but when he does play, like this team gets.
He got a little burst,
right?
But didn't take a shot. 6 minutes.
6.
Yeah, not a Baylor night. But like your point is right. Like they if he gets thrown into a playoff game, I'm confident he will not mess something up. He might not knock down a shot.
But the chemistry is on point, Chris. Yeah. Like when you have a team, when you're joining, whether it's a company, a team, or the Celtics, and they're all genuinely excited for each other, happy for each other, rooting each other on. There's no beef. Or that we can see. Like, that is a team that's hard to beat. And then they're like, oh, we're only number 2 in the East. Cavs, we got y'all. Stay number 1. We got y'all. Like, I feel like they're playing with that edge.
They are, as I've heard people inside the organization say this as well, they are the most likable group of guys that they have ever had, in recent times. And there's something to the idea that it's not only do you win, but when you just appreciate each other and find joy in each other's successes, it's fun. When Jayson Tatum can jokingly sit there and give praise to Derrick White for being the new 3-point champion of the Celtics, but also kind of suggests like it's in the back of his mind, maybe he could catch him at the finish line of the season. That's fun. You're pushing each other to be better, and that can only lead to good things. I do think it all resolves back to me to sort of the eyeball test. Usually by this point of the season, like which teams are truly in the mix. I think you can look at the team like the Grizzlies and say, I don't know what happened since December.
They'll still lose maybe in the first round.
And firing their coach was ridiculous, and they're a mess. They're not getting far in the Western playoffs. You can look at a team like Cleveland and say, okay, like they're legit. Mm-hmm. You look at a team like the Knicks, you're like, I'm not really sold because I just haven't seen it against a good team. So I think we know what they are. And I think you look at the Celtics and you say, okay, we can explain away some of the ups and downs. There's some small things. You'd like to have seen the starters maybe be a little bit better over the totality of the season, but only 22 games together. Little nitpicky stuff. But when it matters, when Al Horford goes up a level, how about the whole, I don't know, maybe I'm just getting old, so I appreciate the old guys more. Think about the night for the 30-plus guys tonight. So you got Al, 38 years old, going to be 39 during the playoffs, out there just like absolutely balling out, seemingly taking offense to whatever Memphis, the showboating and just going at him. He also seemed to be offended that they left him open, gave him the Drew Holiday treatment from the first time around, and he was like, bleep you, I'm gonna torch you guys tonight, and he did from beyond the 3-point arc.
Had some beef with Zach Edey, right?
Yeah, right. Like just whatever gets you going, man. Drew Holiday, who will be 35 by the end of the playoffs, I believe. I think it's Game 6 of the of the finals. He would turn 35. He goes out, hits 3 third-quarter threes, kind of like with the Dr. Evil finger going. And he looks like he's turning a corner. The stats have been out of control the last 2 weeks with him. He's been great on this road trip. And then Derrick White. Yeah. It's sneaky in that 30 club.
Set a record.
Gets the Celtic record for 3-pointers made, even though he had that little gap in the middle where we're vibes of opening night against New York where you're like, just get the record.
I know.
Just get the record.
Sometimes it's in your head like that. Like what, he was 3 for 11, I think, from downtown, but it didn't matter because he just got the record. And sometimes you just need to be like, you're even though these guys say, oh, I don't, they may not know some of the records that they're chasing, but maybe he knew this one, maybe he didn't.
To be aware when he started crossing.
And then it's in your head a little bit more.
You were telling a fun story off air about like when you got it in your head.
Oh man, I mean, it's hard. I'm not going to compare my little high school, Newton South High School story to Derrick White, but I did tell Chris, I was like, it's worse when you know that you're chasing a record because it is your coach is trying to say,
hey, help but think about it.
Right. Your coach is like, hey, go play free, do your thing. Don't worry about the record. Screw that. The only thing you can think of is your record, even when you're trying to be unselfish. But I was chasing down my 1,000-point game. There was only however many games left.
Do you remember who you were playing?
It was not North. It was what town was it? It was the North Andover. I think it was North Andover. Okay. The Tigers. They were the Tigers. Whatever. They had a good fan base actually. That was roasting me because I wasn't able to hit the last 3 that I needed.
I mean, that's pretty.
But I was like 0 for 15, and all I needed, by the way, was 5 points. 5 points, and I did it. And little step back 3 action finally hit it. But I was like 1 for 16. It was what I went for from downtown. But anyway, needless to say, it does. It does, yeah. You get the record,
and then the floodgates open, right?
It's
It happened for Derrick. Derrick hit the record 3.
Exactly. Now I'm forgotten. I had Newton South kids be like, "Did you play here?" I'm like, "I got the record, daggone it! Don't you see?" But no, your record doesn't matter to them anymore. Derrick White's will, unless Jayson Tatum decides to hunt him down.
I keep joking. All these 3-point records that are being set, they're all going to be broken within the next 5 years.
Which is dope. It's so awesome because you have these internal competition, and now it's like, oh, what's the purpose of the night? You're going to set a record. You're going to do this, and I know that that's not the conversation, but they're having fun and they're chasing records.
You always got to find a way to push yourself, to drive yourself, and boy, these Celtics have done it.
Dang, Chris, I'm feeling good about this team, man.
9 straight.
Yeah.
And now you come home and we got to talk about the Miami Heat. So we'll do that in a minute. But first, here's more from our postgame show.
Are you ready to enter the realm of affordable luxury? Drew Carter here at 24 Infinity of Plymouth, your go-to destination for affordable luxury.
Right now, lease a new Infinity QX60 Lux for just $569 a month. Or lease a new QX80 Sensory for $1099 a month.
Ready to trade and upgrade? You'll get top dollar for your trade. Visit 24 Infinity of Plymouth at 151 Samoset Street and online at 24infinityofplymouth.com.
It was great for Kristaps Porzingis to manifest this. He said, 6-0. We're going to go try to go 6-0. And they went out there and did that. But I just like the way tonight that they shared the basketball. They were able to get everybody involved. Everybody eats B. That's one of the sayings that I've been saying for a while around here. Everybody gets a little bit of the food. Nobody has to starve, you know what I mean? And so at the end of the day, when we look at it, what they did out there, they shared the basketball. They played defense, number one. And that's what I really like, is how we are locking down defensively, collectively as a unit.
Man, the Road Dogs just took over on this trip. I know we've been saying it for 2 seasons now about their ability to go on the road, but to do 6-0, to be now just have to go 1-1 to get the all-time franchise record for best road record. It's just remarkable what this crew has done. And think about it, yet another night, you're without one of your superstar players in Luke Cornett, Jaylen Brown too. But I love that they brought the energy out there, and shout out to the 30-plus crew. All 3 guys. Torrey Craig is in the mix too. But think about it. Al Horford, monster night at 38. Drew Holiday, about to be 35. He knocks down those 3 threes in the third quarter, had a bunch of big moments. And you got Derrick White, who is technically over that 30-plus, knocking down not only a franchise record, but a huge 3 when it felt like they couldn't get anything to fall in that fourth quarter. You need vets out there, and they got them to the finish line.
And if you want to talk 30, how about the 30 assists?
Ooh,
right?
What a segue, Giles.
The number just kind of, it was right there, just had to use it. But the ball movement, Eddie, just going through some of the video here, you had a number of the guys racking them up. Derrick White, 10 assists, Drew Holiday, 7, Kristaps Porzingis, 5. What do you think of the ball movement?
That's important, and that's the one thing about this team. If they're able to move the ball like this and they're able to knock down shots when they do move the ball, they're going to win games. There's not a team that's out there that could beat us 4 games before we beat them 4 games. Just unselfishness. At the same time, we had 12 offensive rebounds, so we're active. I think we're activated for this playoff push, and hey, man, get the duck boat ready. Forsberg,
get those Clippers.
Get your Clippers ready. I don't know who's going to cut that off of your face, but get that thing ready.
There's enough for everybody to take their turn. But if we're being honest, they probably could have had 40 assists tonight because everyone was missing a bunch of Tatum feeds early. They didn't knock down anything in the fourth quarter, but the ball movement was consistent, and they were getting good shots. And even when those things aren't falling, you feel good about the looks they were generating. And they definitely have just a little bit more sizzle this trip. Like that alley-oop one was one of the highlights of the season, but everybody's kind of just making quick decisions, moving that basketball, and teams are forced to scramble to close out. And if they are consistently knocking down shots, it's almost an impossible team to beat. They get to bottle up this ball movement for when those playoffs are.
And they weren't even consistently making shots, especially in that fourth quarter when you had that drought there, and yet they're able to hang on and get the win. How about Jayson Tatum, though, in the first half? Right there, 17, 16 points in the first half. Obviously, coming up with the 14 rebounds in this one, Eddie, so getting it done in different ways for the Celtics on the night when, again, as Chris points out, you were lacking rebound because you didn't have Luke Cornett, you didn't have Jaylen Brown on the floor.
I mean, come on. Are we surprised at what this guy is able to do?
No, but we can still appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate it, but we're not surprised. Like, us watching it on a nightly basis, we're not surprised. And we do appreciate it as well. But at the same time, people on the outside that don't watch Celtics basketball, that don't understand what he brings to the game, not only with his scoring, because that's the only thing people think about is his scoring. It's not his scoring, man. His ability to make others around him better and also give the game whatever it needs for the team to win. Tonight it was 25 points, but 14 rebounds. He didn't have a great assist night. He didn't have to do that. because he was in attack mode. So it's just, I mean, you know, we are blessed to be able to watch somebody like this night in and night out. Like, seriously, like for real, to watch somebody like this night in and night out and see what he's able to bring to the table. I mean, we have a fantastic team, and it starts with him. I mean, just, you know, everybody that's out there watching this show right now, just relish the fact that you have an opportunity to watch an all-time great every single night.
Giles, hands up. We jinxed that assist before the game. We said there's no chance he's not getting the 6.5 assists. Guys didn't knock down shots. It wasn't for the lack of trying. And Tatum was really moving that basketball and getting everyone involved when they blitzed him. But, man, they just couldn't seem to get – even Al had one late where I'm like, this one's definitely going in. And it just didn't fall. But credit to Tatum. Just knows how to impact the game. I thought the rebounding was huge. You knew it must have been a priority for the Tillmans and the Horfords of the world to get bodies on people. Tatum swooping in. We've seen this in the past when they've played single big. And he was just super active. Thought he had that mid-range shot going for a good portion when they just needed buckets. It's such a luxury that, especially when things get a little tough, to have a guy like that who can just be a tough shot maker and get you to the finish line of a W.
Got to the finish line of their 32nd road win this season, and he's standing by with Abby back in Memphis.
Jayson, this game was physical from the jump. What did it take to get this win and make history going 6-0 on this road trip?
Just staying with it. We started off a little sluggish. We've been on the road for a long time, but you know, Al played amazing today. He kept us in it and hit some big shots, you know, in that second half. And we just fed off his energy, and you know, we rallied in the last 6 minutes of that second quarter, and you know, got the lead.
Yeah, big game from Al. Literally, you said he's your favorite teammate of all time, but how remarkable is what he has done for this team this season?
I mean, incredible. The oldest guy on the team, and he had the most energy in the last game of a road trip. Man, we need everybody, and we needed him big tonight. That was a special performance.
Speaking of history, Derrick White set the franchise record for most threes in a season. How long are you going to let that stand? You're 7 back now.
I know. I ain't hit no shots today. But we talked about it, me, him, and Peyton. I know we all like kind of close, but it looked like D. White running away with it right now.
Like I said, you guys made history on this road trip, but you've now won 9 straight. How are you feeling about where this team is at heading into the postseason?
Feeling great. We trending in the right direction at the right time. Hopefully, we get everybody back healthy and keep this thing going. It's almost time for war.
Jayson, thank you. Congrats.
Thank you.
When did you find out you were going to get the start?
12:30. I was about to take a nap, and Joe called me.
Was it a big surprise? Like, really?
I was surprised. So I'm pretty thankful that he gave me the opportunity to do that, especially being my first time back here for sure. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, what does it mean to you?
To get the start? I mean, it was great. He for me, like the amount of history and effort and dedication I put into this program, in this ball club, and then me getting an opportunity to come back here and like kind of just say thank you to the fans and thank you to like my former teammates and stuff like that. Was pretty awesome.
What was it like for you just to be back, the fans cheering for you? It's just the whole experience of having this experience in Memphis.
It was great. It was great. It's crazy because I was more so focused on seeing like my old teammates and stuff like that and checking on them. But the fans when I got here, and even like the staff members, the security people who like I would walk by were showing me so much love. It's pretty amazing, to be honest.
Jayson said you guys have been talking about that 3-point record. What did it feel like to break it tonight?
Yeah, we talked about it on the plane, and I mean it's pretty cool that there's 3 of us like so close to doing something special. And I mean honestly, just looking back on my career, I never thought I'd be in this position, and so I'm just thankful for the coaching staff, thankful for the guys on this team, and I know I wouldn't be able to do it without them. So I'll hold it for now until one of them breaks my record. So that's cool.
Why do you say that?
Because they're great at what they do.
No, that you didn't think you would be able to.
Oh. I mean, did you watch me early in my career? I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but I even didn't think I would shoot this many threes, and so just kind of just keep developing. Thankful to have a coaching staff and teammates that believe in me and trust me and allow me to go out there and be aggressive and do what I do.
Yeah, and then do you plan to hold it over those guys' heads for a little while here?
No, I hope they forget about it so they don't try to go out and break it. But, I'm just going to enjoy it and see what happens the rest of the year. But, I mean, if someone of them breaks it, couldn't happen to someone better, and I'll be happy for them.
It really started to click for you as a shooter. Like, is there a moment you look back on or a summer, just some adjustment you made that really got this run going?
Yeah, after the finals, I feel like it was like the biggest summer of my life. And obviously, what happened to the finals and how I was being guarded, on that stage, it was like one of the lowest points. I told Draymond after the Olympics that he kind of changed my life because they weren't guarding me, so I had to go in that summer, and me and my trainer, Marcus Mason, just focused on being consistent, and I think from that point on, I just built to get better and better.
What was that conversation like with Draymond, when you told him that?
There's a lot of mutual respect. I think he just sees the work that I put in to change how I play, and I've always had a lot of respect for him, and so I think it was just mostly his mutual respect.
All right, next game, Kayla. I'll admit, it was funny. Giles looked at me at one point and goes, "Who do we play Wednesday?" And I go,
So true.
"I don't know who we play Wednesday." I've been so fixated on
You have
this
to go
trip.
to Google and do the number of Google tabs I have for Celtics schedule,
Yeah.
and I refresh.
I just have it. Honestly, if the Celtics ever go through and check the metrics, or maybe it's our people, we posted a PDF version of the schedule, and I have it saved as like a bookmark, and I must go there twice a day.
I have it in my favorites.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I'm like, I need to go to pictures, favorites. Who do we got? Who do we have? That I like to
And
do.
sometimes
like
it throws you off
3-game
because
span.
start of the year, like tonight was an 8 o'clock game to start the year. It got flexed to 7:30, so I have to make sure. I have to double check, so I have to go to a different schedule page that's updated and make sure my PDF file is correct.
You just got to Google it, Chris. Hit refresh.
Yeah.
Celtics schedule, and you have to do it 24 hours ahead of time.
Maybe I'll do that. Miami Heat have won 5 straight. Tyler Hero is playing good basketball. But to keep bringing up Michael Hawley, he brought up a great point. It's like, it's just the Heat.
Are you going to say something viral?
Yeah, I don't know if I can. I don't even know what you would say to get
So
in.
context, if this doesn't make the pod, Michael Hawley was like, Chris, basically saying, I don't see the
Find a way.
purpose for Wednesday. I'm not excited about this game. They're the Heat. There's like Jimmy Butler would have made it interesting. I hate the trade. I hate all of it in terms of the Heat Celtics rivalry. So please, Chris, say anything that's gonna make something go viral ahead of this game.
I wish there was something. Again, you have to tap into it. It's. I'm not saying it's like a likable Heat team. It's just a collection of guys that they had lost 10 in a row. They somehow decided to start playing again, which included when Jimmy Butler came back, which was kind of endearing. I like that they were at least motivated enough to be like,
take it personal.
I didn't like the hugging Jimmy at the end and all that, or the fans applauding Jimmy.
I
don't even think they hugged Jimmy at the end because I think Jimmy just got out of there. But that guy quit on you. I didn't love that the fans celebrated it, but again, it's Miami fans, so I'm not gonna. Maybe that's the viral clip there. The Miami fan who clapped. There wasn't a lot of Miami supporters out there. How does Joe game this up so that they're laser focused on Wednesday night?
Yeah, I'm curious. Curious to see Jaylen Brown and Luke Cornett, what their status is. But even if not, let's say we have the same rotation as we did tonight.
Hasn't
Usually
mattered,
that's
right?
not the case. I'd like to see Peyton Pritchard have himself a night. He finished with a low scoring game. But still, it wasn't his night. Fine, okay. Like he still did little things,
Everybody
getting in the
else did.
paint, getting boards. I thought the offensive rebounding here tonight was solid. But look, you got Bam Adebayo. I think shutting him down in the paint. I think Tyler Hero. I want to see like either Drew Holiday or if Jaylen Brown is back, kind of maybe taking up full court, like putting a little bit of that pressure against him and saying like, okay, I know you've been balling as of late, 5 straight wins, but like still our house. I know it's not Jimmy Butler, but there's still a rivalry. There's the history of this. So
I like
play
it.
with a little edge.
And like I said, there's only, I think, let me do my math here quick.
7.
3 home games left?
Oh,
4?
sorry,
4.
7
No,
regular
there's 5 home games left. Is that right? Yeah, because they have 2 more on the road, so 7 games. Yeah,
Yep.
okay. My math checks out.
Yep.
I was told there'd be no
You
math.
got the Suns. you got this.
So 3 games at home here, and then they go 2 on the road against Orlando and New York.
Oh,
and
they
then come
finish
home
at home with Charlotte.
with 2 games against Charlotte, which I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. Last year, no one played in those games. So
fun.
Tickets will be readily available. I took my children to a game that didn't have Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, and it was still super fun. Baylor Scheinman had a great night.
Yeah.
Got the water bath. So you never know when you walk into the Garden, regardless of who's playing. Because these Celtics, all they do is win, regardless of who's out there. So hopefully, maybe it'd be a Torrey Craig night one day in this homestand. We're going to get to be over there on Friday night when they play the Suns.
Do you know what you're doing Friday? You have a task.
I do.
I don't even think it's a task. It's actually an honor. Who's the guy who wants to meet you on Friday?
Bill Chisholm?
Bill Chisholm. He specifically said, and not only did his first words, I think to the public, because you were the first one to interview him,
it was the first words he said to me, which was very nice.
No, first words he said in general. Chris, I'm such a fan. I love the show.
Aww.
Talking to you is like really cool for me. And he goes, I cannot wait to meet you on Friday. So there's going to be a Bill Chisholm.
Well, I'm going to go seek him out. I think they were way more excited to see Abby when they got to see her in Sacramento.
They were the best.
And that's completely understandable. I'm completely okay with that. I would be much more excited to meet Abby than me.
Both of y'all.
But I hope he's not like weirded out when I chase him down.
No, he's gonna be. I think he's gonna have like a sign for you. He's hype.
I'm excited that he gets. So the Chisholms are supposed to be there for both Wednesday night against Miami and then Friday night against Phoenix. I hope they're sitting courtside. I think this is known now. They came to a game in maybe February during the bidding process, but they didn't sit next to Wick. They sat across the court so that they wouldn't be spied. Not that now. I mean, now everyone knows the.
Now
Chisholm
you put
family,
those cameras on. You're like, wait, who's this guy?
But let's just put it this way. I don't know if they'll put him on the jumbotron or not, but I'm assuming the fans are gonna give him a little support to let him know that it's okay to write some big checks and keep this crew together.
He better sit courtside with the check
right.
he's getting.
You pay $6.1 billion. You can sit on mid-court.
He should be paying for everybody. No, I'm excited. I know you will meet him. I hope you better meet him. That's really cool.
I hope
and just to see it, watch this team, for him to finally really have his finger on it, be a part of it, and to see what the Celtics have been doing, cruising to 9 straight. Hopefully they play with a little more motivation.
$6.1 billion.
That's motivation, if you ask me. For him.
We are in different circles of tax brackets, but that's okay. I'm excited for his presence here at this game. I need everybody to go like, subscribe, go check us out on the YouTube page. We'll catch you Wednesday night after the Heat game.